I can't say with any certainty just how much you might gain due to genetic variations. As mentioned previously, there are slightly more than 600 calories in a pound of muscle. If you are stimulating 3 pounds of muscle growth a week, you will require roughly 600 times 3, or 1,800 calories per week above maintenance. This translates to 257 calories a day above maintenance. I am recommending slightly higher so there's less chance of any slightest frustrating of the nutritional caloric needs of the growth mechanism. Let's assume, in your particular case, that your growth requirements don't necessitate a full 300 calories a day above maintenance. Then yes, the excess will turn to fat. However, there are 3,500 calories in a pound of fat. If you required only 150 calories a day above maintenance, the other 150 would turn to fat, but you would only gain 1 pound of fat a month. For those with a higher metabolic rate, or who have a difficult time consuming even a maintenance level of calories, I suggest Twin Labs RX Fuel to help boost your calorie intake. For those interested in losing fat, reduce your calorie intake by 500 to 1,000 a day below maintenance level, and you'll lose 1 to 2 pounds of fat a week. And as long as you're on a proper, high-intensity training program, you won't lose muscle, and you will likely even gain some. Reducing your calories 500 to 1,000 per day is sufficient to starve the fat enough to see a meaningful loss, yet still be enough to feed the lean mass and provide for some growth. Once you've lost the desired weight, go into a positive calorie balance as described. Recently, one of my phone clients reported that while on a calorie deficit diet, he lost 11 pounds of body weight over a 3-month period, increased his strength considerably, and even gained a half an inch on his arms. The loss of body weight would have been predominantly or exclusively fat, with certainly none of it being from the contractile protein element in the muscle, as he did grow stronger and put 1/2 inch on his arms. One cannot lose muscle and grow stronger. This gain of muscle mass while losing fat does not prove that his body stole calories from fat and shunted them to the muscles. It demonstrates that when you're in a modest negative calorie balance, the fat can be starved sufficiently to be used as fuel, and yet enough nutrition still provided to maintain lean mass and allow for at least some muscle growth production. I told my client, however, that as well as he did in terms of strength and lean mass increases, he would have done better on a positive calorie balance. As a bodybuilder continues to gain muscle mass and body weight, his maintenance level of calories gradually goes up until finally weight gains slow down, then come to a halt. When you see that your weight gains have slowed down, increase your calories another 300 to 500, and you'll resume gaining. Likewise, as a person continues to lose weight, his maintenance level goes down, and the weight loss diminishes and eventually comes to a halt. When this starts to happen, reduce calories by another 500 or so a day, and the weight loss will continue. It has been suggested by many reputable nutritional scientists that when on a weight loss program, the individual should not go below 1,200 to 1,500 calories, as it is impossible to obtain a well-balanced diet below that level. In cases of morbid obesity, it may be necessary to reduce calories even further, but only while under the care of a physician. One will know when he is too low in calories by the fact that he will stop dropping pounds precipitously. Rather than 1 to 2 pounds a week, he'll start losing 4 to 5 pounds a week or even more. This rate of weight loss is indicative that one's muscles have begun to catabolize, which is undesirable for a number of reasons, the least of which is that the loss of lean mass will slow down the metabolism. Since muscle only has 600 calories per pound versus the 3,500 calories per pound of fat, the body will burn up to 6 pounds of muscle to get the same caloric yield as from 1 pound of fat, hence the much increased rate of weight loss. For those desiring to lose weight, yes, low-carbohydrate diets do work, but like all diets that work, it does so by being a calorie deficit diet, one that is lower in calories than maintenance level. You'd be better to reduce the calories of all the macronutrients instead of just one, or you run the risk of not obtaining a well-balanced diet. And if you are on a well-balanced diet with a calorie deficit, it won't hurt your weight loss efforts to have an occasional treat such as a candy bar, piece of pizza, or some ice cream. Just take into account the calories they contain, figure it into your daily calorie budget, and subtract some other food item. A question I get literally almost every day from clients is whether or not it is important to eat 6 meals a day. And the answer is no. It is not necessary to have 6 formal meals a day. The body is quite resourceful in that if you were to skip even one of the 3 square meals in a day, it would make up for it by utilizing more of the nutrients than usual from the next meal. Eat your 3 square meals a day plus a snack or 2, along with your supplements, and you'll be fine. To disrupt one's life to such an extent that he's taking the time to prepare 6 formal meals a day is to make nutrition a neurotic obsession when it should be viewed primarily as a basic need where no more time than is minimally required is spent fulfilling it. When a bodybuilder is actually gaining muscle mass as well as getting stronger, he should see a reciprocally reinforcing relationship between the two. In other words, his muscle mass increases will facilitate even greater strength increases, which in turn facilitate greater growth stimulation. And the rate of your strength increase will serve as a relative indice of how much growth is being stimulated. If you are only increasing a rep or so here and there, obviously there is less growth stimulation than if you're increasing in strength by leaps and bounds. If at some point you believe you may need more than a 300 to 500 positive calorie balance, go higher, but be cautious and methodic. Go up a couple of hundred calories at a time and keep tabs on your body weight.